I'd like to call this regular March 13th board meeting to order. Can I get roll call, please?
Mrs. Buckley?
Here.
Mr. Kuderick?
Present.
Ms. Lanasi?
Present.
Mrs. White?
Present.
Ms. Roscoe?
Here.
President Frayer?
Here.
And Mr. Minkevich is also present.
May we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Oops. Got it.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's like trying to get out of a cubby hole.
Okay, at this time I would like to get an approval of the agenda.
We need to add item C1, call a meeting for this Wednesday, March 15th at 6 p.m. We're being involved in the superintendent selection process.
Okay, can I get a motion, please?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the agenda with the addition.
Motion by Mrs. Buckley, supported by Mrs. Lanasi. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Can I get approval of the minutes from the previous meeting?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Kuderick. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda would be the report of the superintendent.
Yes, personnel, Mr. Clark, please.
Thank you, Mr. Carr. Members of the board, we have 3 personnel actions for you tonight. The first one, motion is needed by the board to accept employment of Ms. Kathleen Bergernowitz. She's the resource room teacher at Barth Elementary School, effective date March 3rd, 2006.
I'll make the motion to approve the employment of Kathleen Urbanowitz, resource room teacher, Barth Elementary.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Minkevich, supported by Mrs. Roscoe. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next personnel action is for your information. Ms. Tina Stewart, part-time secretary 2, receptionist, has been hired for the board office, and Ms. Vicki Webb, kindergarten aide for Romulus Elementary School. And our final personnel action also is for your information, termination, Ms. Linda Gillian, bus driver, transportation department.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
We have one question.
Yes.
Mr. Clark, part-time secretarial 2, what does that, consist of? Is the other secretary part-time or?
It's a part-time position that was already there, that was vacant for a number of months, that we're filling here at the board office.
That's all right. That's the only
Thank you,
question.
Mr. Clark.
Thank you.
Bills for payment, we have before us tonight, Mrs. Papazoglu is not able to be with us due to the recent and very unsuspected passing of her father this Saturday night.
That's too bad.
We have these bills for payment. We'd recommend approval of them at this time.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the bills as submitted.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Buckley, supported by Mrs. Lanasi. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. And the funeral, the viewing of her father will be tomorrow from 3 to 9 p.m. at Hal Peterson on Telegraph and Taylor, and the funeral is 10 o'clock at Hal Peterson on Wednesday.
Do you have a last name?
I'm sorry?
A last name?
Smith.
Smith?
Lowell Smith.
That was her maiden name.
My goodness.
Is that her brother?
Father.
Her father. The next item is a field trip to Cedar Point for the Romulus Middle School. It's on a Saturday, fits our recommendations, and we ask your approval for this trip tonight.
Just one comment. I'm sure that date is supposed to be 2006.
Yep.
And then I'll make a motion to approve the Cedar Point trip for Romulus Middle School band, students, and leadership students.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Minkevich, supported by Mrs. Roscoe. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
That's what was messing me up.
The next item is item C1. The superintendent selection process is now underway. I had conversation this morning with Mr. Carl Hartman, following up on conversations that you all have had with him previously about scheduling a meeting for this Wednesday, and talking to you before the meeting, it sounded like 6 o'clock was an appropriate time to go through the paper screening process and moving ahead with the process, setting up for future interviews. So we need to call a meeting for that time. We need a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion that we schedule a meeting for this Wednesday, 6 o'clock, in regards to the superintendent search.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Roscoe, supported by Mrs. Lanesi. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed?
Now, on that subject, we also had a tentative discussion of having a meeting relative to finance and other matters for next Monday, the 20th, a study session. Let's hold off on that until Wednesday, with Ms. Papazoglou absent, and there's a couple of meetings that were supposed to have taken place in the last couple of days that were not able to take place, so we'll discuss that again on Wednesday and see where we might be at. There was supposed to be some meetings with an attorney, and that was canceled due to conflicting schedules and problems last week, so we'll move ahead with that possibly Wednesday night. It would be just to set a meeting. Okay, that's what I have tonight.
Okay, thank you, Joel. Next item on the agenda would be the communication and expression from the public. I do have a request in front of me to talk from Ms. McGlynn and Pete Lopez. Do you want to come forward, please? You're going to be speaking to us tonight on behalf of the Ed Horns benefit.
I'm a parent and an employee of the district, but I'm coming to you.
You need your mic.
Yes.
You get the microphone.
You need a mic, yeah.
My name is Molly McGlynn. I'm a parent in this community, and I'd like to come to you to introduce someone who'd like to speak about the Ed Horn benefit. This is Pete Lopez, a member of the Maids, and a colleague of Ed Horn's, one of our technology director.
Good evening. My name is Pete Lopez. I'm the Director of Technology for Inkster Public Schools. I've worked with Ed for the past year. When I heard about this dreadful disease, some of our colleagues in the Western Wayne County, we looked at setting up a benefit for him. So we scheduled an event on April 4th, which is a Tuesday, starting at 6 o'clock at your high school auditorium. It will be a silent auction with hors d'oeuvres being served by your culinary arts class, and then there will be a comedy show that will be set up immediately after that. The comedian's name is Mark Knope. He is a member of Comedy Central. He's also bringing in 3 of his comedian friends from Comedy Central that are flying in for the event. This is all on a voluntary basis, and the proceeds of the funds will go directly towards Ed's expenses on that. With the silent auction, we've also had donations from Dell, HP, Hewlett-Packard, Compaq, Wright Hunter, and the gifts are still coming in. So some of the prizes that we're having is a digital camera. I understand that there's someone in your community has donated a timeshare that he has in Florida to be rented out for the week, which will also be auctioned off, and others several gifts that will be done during the silent auction. So if you can attend, the event is $25. Like I said, all the benefits will go toward Mr. Horn's family to help pay for his expenses. Do you have any questions?
What is the age on that, our children?
We asked that the tickets to be sold for 18 and older.
Okay.
The reason being because the comedians, when the kids are younger, it kind of distracts the comedians and so forth, and they kind lose their momentum and so forth on that. So they've asked that the ticket sales will be 18 and older for the event.
Okay, good.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr.
who
Quinn.
can, where can somebody go and find out about the tickets, to purchase the tickets?
Actually, we got a website that's already been set up. It's edhornbenefit.com. Several of our technology directors have set up the website free of charge. That has all the information on who can you contact for the tickets. We can make the arrangements of either mailing it to you or send it to you to school, or however those arrangements can be. Also, the prizes will be also placed on there, as well as any other information.
I think all the schools have tickets as well now, don't they?
I'm sorry?
Don't the schools have tickets? Aren't they?
Yes, they do. They
Yeah.
all have tickets at this time, yes.
My thing on this one is I'm doing it outside the schools. So we've contacted Wayne Risa and also Wayne Westland, Wyandotte, Southgate. Some of the other school districts have also have tickets for sale on that. In the next couple of weeks, you will be seeing a story on the News Herald regarding on the event, so we can get more publicity to raise more funds on that. Any questions?
Thank you.
I did see Ed yesterday. Went up there, and spirits are high. He's putting some weight on, so we're all optimistic.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda would be items of interest from the superintendent.
Yes, a special congratulations to Tom Koderick, Ken Minkiewicz, and Celeste Roscoe for your awards of merit and your certifications that have been earned through the Michigan Association of School Boards, and that shows a real dedication to improving yourselves as board members and others. I know working on some of the things to reach these plateaus, and we're very proud of our board members for accomplishing them. Beyond that, I think these are pretty self-explanatory until we get down to food service equipment quote. I think
At the very back.
we have at the very back. And Glenn is with us tonight. And relative to that item, we discussed this on a couple of occasions prior, and we have received these quotes now relative to, it looks like a lot, but not all of the events. I have a one-page here. I want to see the truck on here, and there's a couple of other items that we need to deal with. So maybe Glenn can give us some edification here as we move ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, Sherry was working on the truck quotes, as it's a state website, and we don't have access to that. She's aware of that. I expected she'd have been here tonight as well.
I think the thing that we need to do relative to this is maybe take a look at it. We possibly, we could, and my tentative plan was to have you move ahead on this tonight. Sherry's absence has thrown a little bit of a wrench in it, but you see we have 3 competitive quotes, and I would like to ask you to approve these quotes so that we can get this equipment ordered. Are they all low bid, Glenn?
There's 3 bids.
Pretty much all low bid. The one that stands out that's not is the walk-in freezer, the very last item. And that is, of the 3, it's the
middle bid, yeah.
It's the middle bid, and it's the one that I know they've been out to the site to look at, to give us what I felt was an accurate bid. The other one sent them in based on measurements and specs. The architect's representative is coming out Wednesday with the kitchen designer to be able to take a look at that space as well. I think you set that up, Joel. So he'll be out Wednesday.
What kind of timeline are we under relative to having to vote on this tonight to receive the stuff by June, or do we still have flexibility to wait 2 more weeks?
Well, with most of the equipment, you're looking at 6 to 8 weeks lead time.
Okay, so
The
8 weeks
freezer,
from now.
probably a little bit more, and the truck, I don't know much about the truck.
Madam,
I guess we could wait another.
Madam
we could-
Chair, I'm sorry,
We
Joe.
could hold on this for another couple of weeks till we got the truck and everything together, if you like.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Somebody,
Also, if we end up meeting on Monday, we could possibly discuss
Talk
that
about
on
this.
Monday since we're going to be discussing
Right,
finances.
we could do it then, too.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any specific questions relative to this now? You recall we went through this before, and we're going
Yes.
to a new, we're going to a new procedure for serving elementary lunches, which will take away the pre-packed lunches, and much more of the work will be done in the elementary schools rather than just having people receive frozen lunches on a cardboard tray that they reheat and serve to the kids. The dishing out of the food will actually occur at the specific buildings. The labor ramifications will be that there'll be really no increase or decrease in the amount of labor. It's a matter of shifting around where people will work and when they'll work. But the labor, number of hours per week will stay almost identical to what it is. So we can consider this at the next board meeting formally, and we'll have the truck and everything else in mind by then.
Ms. Buckley, did you have a question?
Yes, Madam Chair. Joe, does this include, we talked about having a veggie cart that Barth has that the other elementary schools didn't have at the time, so I don't know if the other elementary schools have them now, or are they included in this bid, in this quote?
Glenn, is this the,
All the schools right now have a cold bar,
Okay.
which Barth is utilizing better than the others. So they all have that same equipment, and they
Okay.
have for quite some time.
Okay, so okay.
I also noticed on here, about in the middle of the page, there's a 4-well cold buffet, and there could be 3 of those now. Does that fit into this pattern as well, Glenn?
That is part of the plan for the middle school and high school upgrades to eliminate, to ease the lines and the weights that the kids have, to add more service stations.
Let's just make sure that we have covered that other item. This is the opportunity, and this is when we should be doing it.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr.
I
Kudry.
got a question for you, Glenn. This equipment that we're replacing in the elementary schools, we're basically upgrading. A lot of it is still usable. And you've got it written down here, disposal. A lot of this stuff, can we possibly maybe resell to, maybe in the city auction or something, and put some of the revenue back into the district here? Or just throw it in a dumpster and send it to a landfill or a scrapyard?
No, I'm pretty sure that most of that equipment has some resale value. There is some asset value in most everything that we have. Somebody would buy it. It may not be worth much, but it's better than nothing. And if there's an outlet for it,
Right, because
Junk dealers will come to the city auction and we'll pay for stainless steel, that's for certain.
well, it's definitely more valuable that way versus paying to have it thrown away in a landfill.
Sure.
So it's,
but bars, restaurants would buy that equipment. That equipment's running. Everything that's out there right now is running and in working condition, although it's been costing more and more over the past years to maintain it. Somebody would purchase it, I'm sure.
okay.
Are there any other questions regarding this? Thank you.
Thank you.
We also received notification just in the last couple of days that Mrs. Marilyn Woods, Romulus Wick Elementary School, has been chosen as Outstanding Teacher of the Year award winner. The elementary school, Miss Wood, kindergarten teacher at Wick School, has been chosen and will be honored on May 3rd at the Hyatt Regency in Dearborn. We were successful in having a teacher there last year, and we've succeeded again. So this is really, really a great coup for our district to be successful in getting another Teacher of the Year on the countywide basis. We're very proud of Ms. Wood and everybody in Romulus who made this possible for our community. That's all I have tonight.
Questions and concerns of board members? Mrs. Lanasi?
Okay, I would like to congratulate Mrs. Dawn Pluff from Corey Elementary for making Teacher of the Week in February, and I'm sorry I didn't catch it then. I also want to congratulate Marilyn. Dawn is a 30-year, Mrs. Pluff is a 30-year teacher. Mrs. Wood is a 31-year teacher. I want to congratulate Marilyn also. I think it's great that our teachers are finally getting recognition for the great work that they're doing. I'm real proud of our teachers, real proud of our school. Congratulations to you both.
Thank you, Mrs. Lanasi. Are there any other questions or concerns of board members? Mrs. Buckley?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to congratulate our middle school students. I went to a honors assembly, and it was 179 honor students, and I think they should be recognized. That it's a very large number of middle school 7th and 8th graders, and you have a lot of them that were all A students, so just wanted to congratulate them.
Okay.
That was nice.
Any other questions or concerns, Mr. Kudert?
Yes. Mr. Carr, is it possible we can get a hold of Mr. Morris and get the water turned out at the athletic field? I got stopped by the soccer team out there, and they said it would be great if they had water to drink out there, so if we can get that.
If the pipes won't freeze.
This is Michigan, you never know.
We're going to be freezing tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, this is a scary part.
Yes,
Next time we get in a
unfortunately.
situation where we could freeze pipes, so
Yeah.
it may or may not be turned on.
Either have it maybe where the coaches, notify the coaches, maybe Mr. Woods, you can let the
Until-
coaches know to go inside the junior high to get the coolers filled or something.
We'll make contact. I'm not going to promise that water's going to be on when we have freezing weather.
Right, well, I understand that.
So the coaches also ought to be vigilant about filling up the big tank with water as well.
Any other questions or concerns of board members?
Yes, I've got
Pankevich?
another 2 hours to go home.
You got 5 minutes. There are 5 minutes.
Put a limit.
5 minutes.
Just quickly, RISA has the meeting on Thursday concerning the new fingerprint law. And I know there was a date on something that said you needed to reply by, but I'm sure if you send in a fax or if you call the phone number, there's no problem with getting in. It's Thursday, the 16th. Starts at 7, and it should be over by 8. But it's to discuss basically the new fingerprint law and all the problems they've had with that. I received a letter today, and I'm not sure if everyone got it, concerning the dinner for the 3 of us that received the awards. It'll be at Livonia Franklin High School, and there was a form that they would like to have us send back.
They call Carol, we can take care of that all at
Okay.
once.
When is that?
When is
Can you
it?
give me a
That's
date?
Thursday, March 16th, and it starts usually around 6, and it's probably over by 8.
No, the
There's
dinner.
a dinner.
Your dinner.
Yes, there's a real good.
16 too?
That's a,
April. Is it
I'm
April
sorry.
13th?
Wait a minute, yeah.
said
I'm looking
March.
at, well, I was looking at the wrong page here.
okay, so it's April.
Yes, the dinner is April 13th, 2006, and it starts at 6 p.m. There will be a dinner and then the program afterward.
I think that's like the day that our spring vacation begins, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, and that's the dinner for the 3 board members who received the award?
Mhm.
April
And
16th?
where's it gonna be?
Livonia Franklin High
Livonia.
School, same as they had
Where it
last
was
year.
last
Franklin.
Okay.
Then there were 2 Detroit News articles that I passed out to everyone. The one on, from Grosse Pointe, and I'm not advocating this is what we do, but it's just kind of an article to give you some ideas what other school districts are doing to try and be creative in coming up with funds to help run their schools. The second one I just received the other day, but there's a legislator who is getting involved evidently with the Livonia school system problem where they want to close schools. So now they're trying to put technically obstacles in the way, I guess. But there's a portion here that blew my mind. And he's got legislation that would require districts to publish 5-year financial forecast every quarter, so residents and municipal officials have more notice about their local school's physical health.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody knows, you can't tell from quarter to quarter what your income is going to be because it all comes from the state and they change so rapidly. So that was that
Like
article.
the weather in Michigan.
And,
Well, that was thrown out of court, though, in Livonia by that judge, right?
well, so far.
What was thrown out of court in Livonia was that folks were trying to get a restraining order to prevent the district from making the changes. And the court did not prevent Livonia from making changes. It's a local Board of Education right. There's other things going on in relation to it. There's a whole big mess going on in relation to recalls and other things. But the department, where they're trying to get a restraining order to get the judge to stop the action, was thrown out of court.
You know, and it, I've talked with one of the board members, and in the last, let's say, 7 years, Livonia's lost something like 1,500 students just because their community is getting older. And to try and keep every school building open, you know, the people would have to be willing to raise their taxes quite a bit. But they don't want that. You know, they want all their buildings open, and these are the kinds of problems you run into.
Livonia went from approximately 39,000 students down to about 13 or 14, 15,000 over the past 15 years. So they've had a tremendous change, and under the Proposal A situation with the funding coming from the state, that kind of decrease really reduces the amount of funding available for running the facilities. So it's been a rock and a hard place.
And they have some 22 to 25 elementaries.
Yeah, they got a lot.
A lot of schools.
Big community.
Okay, are there any other questions or
Oh.
concerns of board members?
I was just going to mention that there was another article that was in your packet dealing with the voucher situation. And President's brother in Florida had started giving out vouchers. Someone took him to court, and he lost because their state constitution specifically says they cannot give money to public schools. And it also mentions in here that Colorado was another state where vouchers were thrown out. So I want to read
It was
that.
thrown out, but Jeb Bush gave his State of the State message in the last week, and he's making one more, he's going back at it again, even though it's already been thrown out by the courts. So all kinds of issues going on as some of these fellows are coming close to the end of their term limits, and they're going to make their last ditch effort as they go out to try to make some serious changes.
Any other questions, Mrs. Buckley?
Madam Chair, Joel, over at the high school, in the back room of the concession stand, there's been a tile miss. I think they had a big flood in there, and like it's just wide open, and we lost a lot of stuff in that room, and it hasn't been repaired yet, so I don't know if it's a problem with the roof or what. Can you look into that for me and let me know what's going on?
Yes.
Because it's, you know, we have food and stuff stored back there, so we need it covered up. Thank you.
Any other questions or concerns of board members? I have two tonight. One is a letter, I'll just pass it down, Joel, to you. That needs to be addressed. I'm not going to mention exactly what the letter was about. There was a lot of name dropping in there, but if you don't mind taking a look at that for me and having that addressed.
Okay.
And then the other issue that I have is, the list of employees, Ed, I think this is more directed towards you. Did you send that back?
Yes, we did.
Okay, you did?
Mhm.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure. Did they ever give us an updated list?
No, not yet.
Okay, are they going to be reestablishing one, or?
I'm not sure, but I guess the legislators will look at that and see if it needs to be revised. But we did send our list back.
Okay, we didn't spend a lot of work on that, did we, or? It's ridiculous.
We wanted to make sure it was accurate, so.
Right, right.
Is that dealing with the fingerprint?
It's dealing with the background checks.
Yeah, fingerprints, okay.
Any other questions or concerns of board members? Okay, the next item would be to adjourn. Can I get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. White, supported by Mrs. Roscoe. Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.